Tonight, Live at 5.
Well, good evening.
Good evening and welcome to Live at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. Cheers to 40 years. Stroll down memory lane with us as we honor the show that would become a maritime institution.
Maria Panopoulos, Jason Baxter, Todd Battis, Katie Kelly, and meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell. This is CTV News Live at 5.
Good evening and welcome to a special edition of CTV News at 5. I'm Jason Baxter.
And I'm Maria Panopoulos. Thank you for joining us. Exactly 40 years ago, this program made its debut.
And that's where we start tonight, time traveling back to September 13th, 1982, with two of the people who helped launch Live at 5, Get Her Done news director Dick Pratt and a 20-something talent viewers would get to know very well.
This is the ATV Evening News Live at 5 with Dave Wright, Bruce Graham, Susan Dunn, Paul Lethbridge, Debbie Forsyth-Smith, and Atlantic Canada's #1 news team.
Nowhere in Canada was doing a 5 o'clock hour at that time. In fact, I don't think too many stations were even doing an hour of news at that time, Dave.
That's right. And we'd all get together and talk about the what ifs and how we could do things. And this hasn't been done. And how do we make this market bring it all together? When you're bringing 3 maritime provinces together, that had been unheard of.
See, that's something I take for granted now, that we're broadcasting into 3 provinces, that we want to have representation from all 3. But again, it kind of shows, Steve, you and I had talked about it before, you're like molding with clay in 1982 in some ways.
Well, that's it.
Celebrate the Maritimes with ATV. Today, live from the 20th Annual Community Harvest Festival in Kensington, Prince Edward Island.
The marching orders, the driving orders were, get to Kensington, PEI, get to Shediac, New Brunswick, go to Greenfield, Queens County, Nova Scotia, and do an hour of TV, and do it 25 times in a summer. and we did.
Oh, look at this.
Look at that. Now, this
is what this is all about.
One of the things that we brought into that show was the ability to go remote. And today it's very common, but at that point it wasn't. It was very unusual.
It was, in fact, one of the most ambitious live television projects ever mounted in Canada.
And I remember having those meetings with each individual premier and trying to convince them that it would be worthwhile for them helping to fund. Because keep in mind, we didn't have a budget to do this. So we were able to get the provinces to agree that we would promote their part of the Maritimes to other Maritimers. And they came on board, and that's what made that work.
Since our last report, let me tell you, a great deal has happened here in Atlantic Canada.
Dave was a visionary. Today we talk about out-of-the-box thinking. Dave was the kind of guy who didn't even have a box. He figured, let's come up with a better way, a new way to do something, which is where he came up with the idea of walking and talking in the newsroom.
Well, good evening. Tonight on the Notebook, our topic is microwave reversal.
He had the ability to get that creative juice going, and it just made everything work.
And infectious, it would spread to others?
Very much so. Sometimes to drive senior management of the company a little crazy because, today it's Halifax, tomorrow it's Rome.
Yeah.
So, but that worked.
He also came up with the idea, at Dick's expense, of traveling the world to bring world stories home to maritime viewers. But Dick, it really worked.
Oh, it did. It put a brand on the news department and the effort all the team was putting together to take a local program or regional program and have it originate from different parts of the world.
I feel that I should be starting all this off with Once Upon a Time because there's a fairy tale atmosphere prevailing here in London.
And the ratings, because of the guys that were standing in front of the cameras and the hard work behind the cameras, were the highest news ratings of any television shows and newscasts in Canada.
In fact, if you dig into the pile, there's a TV Guide magazine cover from my early days on Live at 5, I think it's right down here, in which they profiled what was described as the highest rated television newscast in Canada. And we know it didn't work out because it's 40 years later, and here it is still not working out, Dick.
Maria and I haven't run it into the ground yet.
Many memories come forth. You know, we've had a lot of fun in this room.
So far, so good, Maria. So far, so good. Steve pointed out off camera in our conversation, it was a show of firsts. The medical columns, the consumer reports columns, those things weren't being milestones, which we still have.
Which
those
are
things
staples
weren't being
today.
done.
Yeah.
Not in Canada, not in 1982.
Outstanding. Love that. All right. Many more surprises headed your way over the next hour. Right now, though, it's time to check in with Todd Battis for a preview of CTV News at 6.
Thank you, Maria and Jay. Queen Elizabeth's coffin has arrived back in London. Thousands of people have lined the streets as the hearse made its way to Buckingham Palace. King Charles III met the coffin, at the palace, where it will remain overnight. Complete coverage, of course, at 6 o'clock. And more reaction tonight on an alleged sexual assault victim who was asked to wait until the next morning for a forensic exam at Fredericton's hospital emergency room. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told reporters he's hearing similar stories right across the country caused by staffing shortages, and Laura Brown will bring us more in our newscast. The government of Prince Edward Island has announced it will be setting up temporary shelters for about 50 people in Charlottetown. The housing units should be in place by November, but there's some concern about the site chosen. Jack Morris will tell us about that at 6 o'clock. Right now, let's head into the Weather Center for the first time tonight. Say hello to Kayla.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. And no let up to our early September heat and humidity quite yet. It's another very warm and muggy day across the region. Those type of weather conditions carrying on into the first part of this evening. You'll notice that most of the temperatures are sitting around the low to mid 20s. It is more moderate on parts of the coast, like, for example, the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick. You see St. John, Grand, and Manan reporting 19 degrees, and parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. But humidex values again away from some of those coastal areas. It's making it feel up into the high 20s and low 30s. That's a combination of both temperature and humidity. For those who find that level of mugginess too uncomfortable, the good news is it is going to be falling through the end of this week. Look at that dive down in humidity levels as we move past Wednesday. So much drier for some, more comfortable air in place through the end of this week and into the upcoming weekend. Taking a look at the winds, they're variable in direction. They're mostly only being sustained, though, between around 5 and 15 kilometers per hour. Over on satellite and radar, we continue to see cloud cover increase from the west. We do have showers, drizzle, and fog that'll be developing tonight. And within the area of showers that's coming into the Maritimes, the risk of thunderstorms. You can see a lot of lightning going on in all that shower activity right now as it comes in through Quebec and the northeastern United States. So, of course, I will have more on that forecast coming up later on, Todd.
Yes, you will. Thank you for that, Kaylin. The labor shortage we've seen in so many sectors of late is now affecting things down on the farm. It's harvest season, of course, and what is grown needs to be picked. And some growers are scrambling for enough workers. We've got that story at 6 o'clock. But hey, we've got a whole lot of celebrating first. Jay, Maria?
We certainly do, and this young man by the name of Todd Battis, some of our viewers will remember, used to be a Live at 5 regular back in the 1990s, and he's gonna, yes, it's true, young Todd Battis gonna join Katie Kelly in his old role a little bit later in the show. As we've mentioned a couple of times, lots of surprises rather ahead.
Including one coming up next, the duo viewers fell in love with.
I'm Nancy Regan, and I hate bats.
I love them. I'm Paul Meunier.
It's been 25 years since Nancy Regan and Paul Meunier co-hosted Live at 5, but in some ways they'll always be associated with each other. Nancy in studio and Paul on the farm when we return.
And now the ATV Evening News, Live at 5.
This, as some of you may be aware, is the ATV Newsroom. The reason the Maritimers are now getting better coverage of maritime news than ever before.
The assignment was simple, to celebrate the very special way of life we enjoy in the Maritimes.
In Lewisburg, Cape Breton for Live at 5, I'm Debbie Forsyth-Smith.
This, or one like this, is what everybody here is looking for, a well-cooked maritime lobster.
Live from the ATV News Center and every city and town in the Maritimes, Steve Murphy, Nancy Regan.
Live at 5, ATV. Thank you, Murphy.
I'm Nancy Regan.
And the deal tonight was, and I'm Paul Meunier, by the way, that I would hold the mic and Nancy would drive the BMW.
Ron Kronstein. Welcome to the Live at 5 Garden Guide. I'm Ron Kronstein.
I'm Bruce Frisco.
And I'm Star Dobson. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful late summer evening.
Welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Panopoulos.
And I'm Jason Baxter. Thank you for joining us.
The sum total is ATV News, and we are proud of it. And we're proud to be #1 in the Maritimes.
We have not changed a bit.
Well, I think our hair got a little longer.
It's a little longer, a little fewer, and a little more gray.
There you go.
How are you?
I'm well. Fancy meeting you here.
Look at that. I'll tell you, it's we worked together, I think, 9 or 10 years. This is the first time we've actually been in the same shot together, so that's kind of nice.
I know. Call it a decade for sure.
It is,
And
yeah.
I love how we just assumed our sides.
That's right. We know where to stand.
So 11, that's how many main co-hosts have joined you in your living room over the past 40 years.
It's amazing.
And that's it. 11 in total.
Short list. You and I, as we mentioned, hosted for about a decade. And here's Maria now with another TV team that we know you're going to remember.
Paul Meunier, Nancy Regan.
40 years later, I mean, can you guys believe that Live at 5 has lasted this long? When you were doing the show, did you think we would be doing this, decades into the future?
No, I thought we'd break it.
We tried so hard.
We tried so hard.
I want to know what you think. And you need a bib, by the way.
Scripture.
That's what ties are for. We are in a very small group. There have only been 11 hosts of Live at 5, and 3 of us are right here right now.
Wow.
Did you know that?
About that? No.
No, yeah, it's a very small group. Like, what does that make you feel?
Exclusive.
Live at 5 is on the road.
Or should we say in the air?
A lot of people really wanted you two to be a couple, did they not?
I was just thinking about this driving here.
Yeah.
Because I was chuckling and thinking about how in the old days, so many people would say, no, come on, really, are you guys married? Okay, you're not married, you must be together. And we'd be like, no, really not. We're just co-hosts. So I think we had a great chemistry, and that's what led people to that conclusion. But Paul, can we have your version?
I thought we were married.
Everybody here in the Maritimes loves your show. It's very hot. Do you have like a favorite interview that you've done, Nancy?
Oh my gosh, I always sound like I'm name dropping when I talk about Oprah Winfrey.
You can quote me on that.
I will. But that was a big deal to go to Chicago and sit on her set and interview Oprah.
It was a job, but it was also a privilege at times. I mean, you felt really like I can't believe that I'm getting this kind of access to all kinds of people. There were trips. We both did a lot of trips to New York for movie junkets. So, Mike Myers. Who else? Oh, Roberta Bondar was a great interview. She had just come back from space and was on a tour, and she was a lot of Tommy Lasorda was a gas to interview. When you think about it, I should have kept mementos.
Do you guys miss it? Paul, do you miss TV? No. Do you miss this world?
No. I miss the people, but I don't miss. I did it for 30 years. You gotta. There's always something new to do, and you don't want it to be Groundhog Day every day.
For the most part, I don't miss doing the TV. I needed to leave when I did. It was a difficult decision, but it was right for me. And I'm having so much fun doing what I'm doing now that I don't really look back. But to come and do this and play on a day like this is really fun.
Have a great night, everybody. Now the news continues.
You guys are the best. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. And I know viewers for sure are going to be really happy to see you doing so well.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Adios. See you. Thank you.
Riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, and here's to the GOAT. And I don't mean Paul. He's really, really good, but I meant literally the GOAT over his shoulder. We want to thank Nancy and Paul, Star and Bruce as well. Thank you for being part of the special show tonight. And coming up next, oops, we did it again.
Close. There's another blooper. Paul, thanks.
Join us for a rare view into the blooper tapes, our full pause for your entertainment. We'll hope you'll laugh with us or at us when we come back.
We see some. I'm cutting my rope.
Color cameras were acquired, providing the first color studio facilities in the area.
I've been with ATV since 1979. I started out in master control. I went on to news camera. Then I moved into relief technical producer, and that's where I'm still at today. The first day I did camera on Live at 5, I was probably the most nervous I've ever been. The run sheet was very, very busy. When I started shooting news, I had a power belt for the recorder that we had, which also powered the camera. I had a lighting belt, which was another like 20 pounds or so. And now most cell phones shoot better video. So the technology has changed so much that we can still put on the same programming with a lot less people. Most reporters and hosts will say, we can't do this without the crew. And the crew consists of a lot of people. There's audio people, there are video people, there are camera people. Personally, I think it's the heartbeat of the show because you cannot put that show on without a technical crew. We've always, in this building, had amazing technical people, always, and we still do.
You bet. They've saved us on a number of occasions.
Yeah, I mean, Steve always used to say for years for our colleagues on both sides of the camera, and that's a reason. They're our friends and colleagues. I agree. I think have always been the strength of the station behind the scenes, you know, setting us up to hopefully inform and entertain you at home.
Absolutely. And now it's time for some fun at our expense. We work hard to bring you the stories that reflect life in the Maritimes, but on live television, sometimes things go sideways.
Yeah, but don't take our word for it. We've been quietly collecting proof for 40 years.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you pardon me?
1989, 90, 1989, 90 season. I'm Colleen Walsh in Halifax.
Isn't that strange? Colleen said she had a dream about that happening. That's what we call a glitch.
Good evening. It's time to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones tonight. I went first last night. Katie, would you like to do the honors?
No, I wouldn't.
All right, then. Starting off with a diamond anniversary for
Laura Lee. Oh, there's Laura.
The only problem is we don't have a microphone. Isn't that fun?
I'll tell you who the players are and give you a peek at the final. I'm gonna kill you.
Hints of gravy.
Let's get a tiebreaker over here. Kaylin, your thoughts?
That's something.
The plays of the week every Friday. Steve.
Close. There's another blooper. Paul, thanks.
A little bit of a problem here in our newsroom. About half an hour ago, a fire broke out in one of our computer terminals. Believe me, it wasn't because somebody was working too hard. Hard-working Halifax Regional firefighters.
Oh, this is much more in the next half hour. But first we'll go to Dave right at the anchor desk if he can stop laughing. Dave. Okay.
Wow, the things you learn right here on Live at 5.
On the air, yeah.
Thank you very much.
And of course, that's just the ones we can show you. We'll be showing the rest of them at 1 p.m. tonight if you want to tune
I'm
back
so
in.
grateful that I wasn't in any more of those because I know there are some tapes that exist.
Yes, there sure are.
All right, so before drone shots, there were helicopter shots. And here's what this building looked like from above back in 1982. Kalen tells us how the weather is looking with his full forecast. That's next. Stay with us. Our special returns after this.
I know, and a lot of people are thinking of going fishing. Well, this week, for those who've been getting up early to go, it's been rather miserable. Tomorrow looks like a pretty good day because the rain's coming to an end.
We don't have to apologize for today's weather. However, I will start for tonight and tomorrow and what we're going to get.
It's cold right across the Maritimes. Another cold night in store. Believe it or not, colder than last night.
And those temperatures tomorrow, look at that, not too much to write home about. Staying on the cool side. The chill is upon us for the day tomorrow.
Thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of southern Ontario. Now, we have had reports of dangerous wind, large hail, and heavy downpours.
Well, Paul, as you can see, the sun is shining brightly down here in Guysborough County.
Can anybody guess what might be happening in weather? Big story in weather right now. How about yourself? Go ahead.
Hurricane Michael?
Hurricane Michael.
It's actually
Well, Kaylin, there you go. You're part of a pretty impressive list. Only 7 weather presenters, main weather hosts, over the past 40 years on Live at 5, and you are our current one.
I mean, I don't know what else to say other than it's just a huge privilege to be on the show.
Where were you
Talk about
40
weather
years
from
ago,
Maritimes.
Kaylin?
Nanaimo, BC at a very, very, very young age.
In the first year of life, perhaps? Yeah.
I think so.
Wow.
Yes, in infancy, for sure.
Impressive.
All right, let's take a look at some sunrise and sunset times. And for that, we're going to go back to Moncton, September 13th, 1982. Look at all that sunshine there. It was a very sunny day. And we're actually going to be talking about what weather conditions were like back on September 13th, 1982 around the Maritimes. And so let's take a look at what's going on here, Maria. And it wasn't just this news show that was off to a hot start. The day itself was smoking hot around the region. Large area of high pressure sitting just off the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. Check out some of the reported temperatures. Look at that. And we thought it was warm this week. Yeah, we got
outstanding.
Mid to high 20s there, a couple 29s showing up. Miramichi, Antigonish. Of course, maritime weather, even back then, was doing maritime weather things. So it was fogged in around the Bay of Fundy coastline and around the south shore of Nova Scotia as well, Yarmouth as well as Shelburne. Maybe a few extra viewers in those communities on that day. But that was a check-in on weather. And of course, there's some similarities to the weather that we've had this week in that it's been above seasonable as far as temperatures go with a higher level of humidity. Now, there are some changes on our doorstep. As we take a look at things on radar, we do have our next weather system moving in. Cloud cover continues to increase from the west for this evening. We're seeing some scattered showers beginning to arrive in western areas of New Brunswick. Showers, drizzle, and fog will become more widespread for the Maritimes as we move through this evening and tonight. And within this area of showers, there are likely to be some isolated thunderstorms that pop up. In fact, as we look up just towards the east of Perth Andover now, one little lightning strike being picked up, and there's been more lightning strikes with this weather system back through the northeastern United States. On our weather systems map, barometric pressure is now trending downwards because high pressure is no longer in place. Instead, it's a low pressure system and a series of weather fronts moving through. This trailing cold front, by the way, this is the one that's going to be coming through Wednesday night into Thursday. That'll be the one that brings us some cooler and crisper weather conditions for the end of this week. On our forecast timeline then for cloud cover and precipitation as we head through this evening and make our way towards midnight, you can see those little flecks of green becoming more widespread. That's the showers becoming more widespread in the region. There's still a risk of thunderstorms with them at that time. There'll be some fog around as well. Those type of weather conditions do carry on into Wednesday morning. Downpours and thunderstorms may be more widespread around the northwestern corner of New Brunswick. You can see the colors here a little bit brighter there. Then as we move through Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, the weather system does begin to clear a little bit. The bulk of the showers moving off towards the northeast. There will still be a lower chance of showers, though, in behind for Wednesday afternoon. For all three maritime provinces, about 30-40% chance of a shower at that point, and still with a low risk of a thunderstorm. As we take a look at rainfall totals for this next weather system, I know there are areas that need the rain, but for most, it's going to be in the range of around 2 to 10 millimeters. If you happen to catch one of those heavier showers, though, or potentially a thunderstorm, your local rainfall totals could come up to 15 millimeters or more. Lows tonight, northern New Brunswick, around 16, 17 degrees. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow will be in the low 20s, 20 to 22. Central and southern areas of New Brunswick, low temperatures tonight, 15 to 17 degrees, and highs in the forecast for tomorrow between 21 and 24. Prince Edward Island tonight, low temperatures falling into a range of 16 to 18 degrees, and highs in the forecast for tomorrow will be in the low 20s. As for Cape Breton for tonight, low temperatures around the mid-teens, and then highs in the forecast for tomorrow around 22, 23 degrees. For northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia, low temperatures 16, 17 degrees for tonight, and highs in the forecast for tomorrow 21 to 24. And into the west of Nova Scotia, mild night, most low temperatures holding around 18 degrees, and highs in the forecast for tomorrow around the low to mid-20s. Jason and Maria.
Kaylin, thank you very much. It's time to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones tonight. Nothing 40 years, not quite yet, but Audrey and Ray Shaw of Pisquid East PEI were married 60 years ago tonight.
Congratulations, you two. And it's a 62nd anniversary for Yvonne and Paul Dunn of White Rapids, New Brunswick.
Next up, Charlie and Marvella Curtis of Miramichi, married 64 years ago.
Beautiful dress. And Bob and Shirley Robertson of Quispamsis also said their vows 64 years ago.
And it's a 65th anniversary for Roy and Carol Blades of Carlton Village, Nova Scotia.
Congratulations to everyone celebrating tonight. To see your milestone again or to find out how to send us a milestone, just go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca.
And there's lots more in store coming up here on our special 40th anniversary of Live at 5.
Here's a preview.
I'm Nick Bourne, St. John. Tonight, a special look at our 40-year commitment of putting Maritimers at the heart of Live at 5. A celebration of our communities and our people coming up.
Hi, it's Katie Kelly. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. In keeping up tonight, I will have the first ever entertainment reporter on Live at 5 co-hosting with me. Do you remember who that is? See if you're right later.
I'm Sarah Plowman in Halifax. Coming up, we'll reintroduce you to some of the first female reporters and hosts of Live at 5. They're looking forward to seeing you again.
Your Majesty, welcome to Sackville, New Brunswick. Today is truly an historic occasion for our community.
Over the years, Live at 5 has been there for a number of royal visits to the Maritimes, including this tour by Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip back in New Brunswick in 1984, as well as trips to Nova Scotia in 94 and 2010. In 94, Nancy Reagan visited Dartmouth to speak with Maritimers young and old who had a chance to meet with Her Majesty, the Queen. It's time once again to check in with Todd Battis for a look at what's coming up at 6, Todd.
Some good memories, and this will be another memory people will hold for a very long time, seeing Queen Elizabeth II's coffin arriving back in London. Tens of thousands of people have lined the streets in the city as the hearse made its way to Buckingham Palace. King Charles III met the coffin at the palace, where it will remain overnight, and we will have complete coverage at the top of our newscast. And more reaction tonight on an alleged sexual assault victim who was asked to wait until the next morning for a forensic exam by Fredericton's Hospital ER. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told reporters in New Brunswick he's hearing similar stories from across the country. Laura Brown will bring us up to date. And there's anger today after the sister of Laura Davis, the teen who was murdered in Moncton in 1987, was told to remove an up-to-date Corrections Service Canada photo of the killer from her social media page. Corrections Canada says posting the photo goes against privacy rules. That story at 6 o'clock. Now to the Weather Center. Kayla Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. And we have some changes actually ahead of us here in the Maritimes. It begins tonight with the arrival of a couple of weather fronts, bringing in some showers, some drizzle and fog, but also the risk of some thunderstorms. And it's those type of weather conditions that we actually begin the day with tomorrow around the Maritime region. Now, as we move through Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, quite a bit of the shower activity does begin to clear off towards the northeast, so there is still a lower chance of a shower with the risk of a thunderstorm that extends through Wednesday afternoon to early Wednesday evening. It's still pretty mild for tomorrow, with most high temperatures in the range of 20 to 24 degrees, but it is a cold front moving through, and we see a change in the wind direction towards the west and northwest Thursday into Friday, and that will be bringing in some cooler and much less humid air, and that's where we're going to get a little bit more of an early fall feel around the region. So here's a look at Thursday's forecast. It's generally going to be a mix of sun and cloud, chance of showers north of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, eastern areas of Nova Scotia. But look at the high temperatures. They come down to around the mid-teens, even some low teens up around the north of New Brunswick. And Friday's weather is going to be very similar. Again, a mix of sun and cloud. It's going to be a little bit the cooler side, crisp feel to the air, low chance of showers around northern New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and eastern areas of Nova Scotia, and a bit of a blustery northwest wind. Jason and Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. Well, it's no secret television was a male-dominated industry in the 1980s.
CTV's Sarah Plowman connected with a couple of familiar female journalists who worked in this newsroom back then and helped clear the path for the rest of us.
3 rows of desks. With the huge typewriters. Yeah.
Stories flow naturally. These 2 former journalists don't shy from microphones or cameras.
Hi, good.
They know television is brought to life not just through images, but people.
Well, wishers are continuing to gather outside Buckingham Palace.
Live at 5.
Most consumer problems are universal.
When Live at 5 debuted, Debbie Forsyth-Smith was the consumer reporter.
My thing was to go out and, find out what was going on, scams, those kinds of things.
Along the Cape Breton coast here.
She had worked her way up from the role of teleprompter. Back then, the news team was mostly male.
I mean, there was 1 female PA in the newsroom and 1 female reporter. Yeah. That was it.
I can remember when it came on air and watching, and Debbie Forsyth-Smith was my absolute idol.
That we welcome the tall ships
An example of what's
today.
possible.
It looks like civic workers in Sydney could be on strike this weekend.
And I actually had an opportunity to come here and work with her and Dave Wright and Heather Proudfoot and so many others that I had watched and admired. And, you know, looking back, I think they were the best years of my life professionally.
Women were getting airtime.
That hadn't happened very often. And I know that Debbie and I and others became co-hosts of Live at 5.
They say they faced challenges around pay equity, but had no trouble supporting each other.
When she came, I thought, man, she changes the game. You know, she was just so full of energy and still is today, I noticed.
Oh my God, it's like decades later, and a woman who watched is now the host. Others direct or produce shows.
She says her death is a huge shock to the nation and the world.
Time has brought change, not just in technology, but in the people bringing television to life.
For Live at 5, I'm Debbie Forsyth Smith.
That voice.
Oh, it's fantastic to see them coming back. I mean, you know, women face extra challenges in professional roles all the time. In some ways, this business has never been more difficult. And to think 40 years ago, the way that they were breaking new ground, amazing.
And that they were supporting each other, and that's something that remains today. And, you know, like even in this moment, I want to thank Star and Nancy for being so gracious to me and supportive through the years. You know, it really has made a difference for all of us. And I hope someday to pass that, to pay that forward to others as well.
And such a long list of amazing women that have contributed to this show. We'd be here till about midnight if we started listing them. Coming up next, household names.
He's really in tune with what's going on with people around him. That's what allows him to get away with what he gets away with.
Our entertainment reporters, past and present, join us live for some of their favorite celeb moments, charting the stars when we come back.
While The Truman Show certainly has its funny moments, don't be fooled. It is not a comedy, and that's what makes it an interesting film.
One of the most highly anticipated performances of the evening was by Cape Breton fiddler Ashley McIsaac.
I can't believe it. Let's go, Maritimes.
You want it, you need it, I got it.
That's how you make a hit song.
This is live TV, people, so it might fall and trip, but okay, the stars. It's the 37th Annual Atlantic Film Festival.
Meet my new friend. This is Ramona Dandel, and no big deal. She's a silver medalist. Want to take me for a ride? Let's do this.
Oh, Katie, I'm sorry. I was moving some stuff from one office to the other. Just a few ECMA awards and some Nova Scotia Music Awards that I picked up. Kevin, here, can you put these with the others?
Yeah. In the room?
What you're doing there.
Just take them. I know that there's a lot of them, so don't try not to drop them. So, yes, hi.
Hi. Hi, shall we begin?
Sure, let's start. Entertainment, right?
All right, yes.
Okay.
So, the scene, take 5, section 6, the A-list, and now Keeping Up. This entertainment section had many rebrands over the years, but always the same goal of delivering viewers the most up-to-date local and Hollywood news. CTV Atlantic chief anchor Todd Battis was actually the very first entertainment host here on Live at 5. So tonight we thought we'd invite you back, Todd, to co-host with me. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, that's great. With a nod to Joanne Nugent. A lot of you remember Joanne Nugent, and she used to do it for Atlantic Pulse in the evening, and it was back in the late 90s, and I was doing something else here at the station, and I made a stink to the then news director, and he says, well, what is it you want to do? And I said, well, you know, we're the only show in town that doesn't have an entertainment segment. Well, can you put one together? Yep. I said, I'll give you, how about we do 5 minutes every night right before the 6 o'clock news? Wow. And that's how the scene was born, and we got to do all kinds of great stuff and meet some wonderful people. And the music scene at that time was really hot in Atlantic Canada. Still great, of course, but a lot of upcoming acts that we know now and have known for years.
Totally. If you had to pick, one of your favorite interviews, who would you go with?
Oh, I know you asked me to think about this a few days ago, and boy, it's tough. I had a great one with John Travolta, but again, it's the Will Ferrell was a good one. We thumb wrestled, Will Ferrell and I. He's a much larger man than me. He has much bigger thumbs. But really, it was the musicians from here in Atlantic Canada that were the greatest.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, Todd, thank you for pitching this segment. And if You ended up on the 6th show. Who knows what's going to happen with me?
Hey, that's right. It's a pathway to the desk.
Exactly. All right. Todd, you weren't the only one who got to mingle with the celebs on Live at 5 over the past 4 decades.
Right.
We're going to take a look back.
And welcome home once again.
Thank you, Dave. Nice to be here.
Are these cool enough to wear at night, you think?
I think we could rock the town in Sheet Harbor.
So that's
And we both have the timber. Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
I think life is as neurotic as this.
She's a real go-getter, that girl.
No, that wasn't acting. That was me just being me, you dig? And I just happened to have the camera in front of me.
Next thing I know, I'm Nicolas Cage paramedic.
It looked like I was, raiding some tomb in the middle of Cambodia, and I couldn't figure out what exactly was happening.
No, not goal.
Did you just step in front of me in the camera?
Yeah, I definitely did. That's a big no-no, isn't it?
If I would have known that guy in high school, I would have kicked his ass. Well,
Nice catch.
how do you know I was smelling it? You've seen the movie.
We got signed to Geffen and really got our whole momentum through that opportunity.
How's Bruce for me? And give him a big kiss. Mwah.
So many things have just gone so smooth.
You gotta make the music, you gotta manufacture it yourself. Cara, I was just singing along thinking I sounded pretty good. Boom.
I was three hats in both the Crocodile movies, too.
Obviously, Gordy is extremely talented.
That's sort of an RRSP, in a way. And through that has a kind of blooming of himself.
Hang out in your cool dressing room here at the Rebecca Cohen.
Oh, no, like diva.
Christmas is always a crazy time at my house. This year, I think my wife has invited 35 people.
I like the frustration that she feels.
It's a good thing. It's a real good thing.
It makes me shake my head a little bit that we actually have insinuated ourselves into people's lives.
Is that true, Bubbles?
Yes.
Tessa's pretty much starstruck every day when she takes the ice with me.
He's like cool, he's tough, he's sexy.
How do you remain so hot and sexy, Sting?
I don't know. It's, it's a trial.
We're having a wonderful sound check. We just feeling the vibe of Halifax.
I think we sort of all try and project into the future.
Sometimes people listen, sometimes they don't.
Nancy, hell no.
Don't care what you did, as long as you love me. I'm 60 next birthday. I know I don't look it. Thank you.
I've definitely always been on a quest for happiness and for peacefulness.
We made sure all the rain would be over by our set, and as you can tell, the skies are lighter.
It is lovely to have family and smell the sea again.
I get nervous when I come off stage. I have to face reality.
Forget about it, man. It feels better to win. I want to win.
Mom was saying, oh, I think you're going to be on the show with that Kate girl, that little one. Dad calls you the little one.
If I was going to express my excitement about, or the bizarreness, that it'd be something like, it'd be crazy.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's great.
Thank you so much, Todd, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for the memories, Katie.
Here's Jay.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. Coming up next, viewer appreciation.
My wife and I make it a point every evening to sit down at 5 o'clock and take in the news.
Live at 5 has been here for 40 years, and so have you. The feeling's mutual when we return.
Tonight's Weather Watcher is 9-year-old Jordan. Jordan has sent us a drawing of a lovely day with some puffy cumulus clouds drifting by. Thank you, Jordan. Great job. Welcome out to the CTV Atlantic Weather Deck. I'm getting used to these September evenings where I can be out here without my jacket on. It's another very nice one. It's warm right now. There's a little bit of thin, high cloud cover around. It's going to feel a little bit odd when I have to put a jacket on near the end of this week, but there are some changes ahead of us. So as we take a look at our school and day planner for tomorrow, we are going to see a change in our overall weather conditions. For New Brunswick in the morning, cloudy with some showery and foggy weather to start. Morning temperatures 15 to 17 degrees. Remember, along with the showers tomorrow, there is a risk of some isolated thunderstorms. In the afternoon for New Brunswick, isolated showers with a risk of a thunderstorm and highs between 20 and 23. For Nova Scotia, morning temperatures 15 to 18 degrees, but some scattered showers and patchy fog around. In the afternoon, those showers do begin to clear away, the sun peeking through, and highs between 20 and 25. And for Prince Edward Island to start the day, cloudy with showery and foggy conditions. Morning temperatures 16 to 18 degrees. In the afternoon, a lower chance of a shower, the sun peeking through, and temperatures that'll be near 22. Jason and Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So the heart of this program and its enduring success has always been maritime people and places.
Here's CTV's Nick Moore with some of the loyal Live at 5 viewers who have seen us through 4 decades of local TV.
40 years ago today in the Maritimes, and 5 o'clock would never be the same.
The whole family got together at 5 o'clock, yeah.
and they all sat down and watched Live at 5.
My wife and I make it a point every evening to sit down at 5 o'clock and take in the news.
And many have been watching from the very beginning.
Ever since 40 years, since Dave Wright.
Good evening. The architect of our 5 o'clock hour.
I remember Dave Wright for many years. He was an excellent anchor. We come to appreciate good news reporting from him.
And you got to trust the people that were delivering the news.
Dave LeBlanc is a Live at 5 viewer who worked on the ATV program ID.
Good evening, and welcome to ID.
Which would lead to
The Notebook with Dave Wright.
And then in 1982, the groundbreaking
Live at 5.
I like the idea because you were seeing it was all over the Maritimes, and sometimes I didn't understand the technology they were using to be able to do this.
Take advantage of the power of television.
From a viewer's point of view, it was good to be able to see what was going on in the other provinces, and I think it's important for us to see what our neighbors are doing in the different areas of the Maritimes.
I like the people. I like the presentation. I like the stories they talk about.
The core of the program has and continues to be a celebration and recognition of people who are trying to improve their community.
Lots of good news stories, happy stories, and there's sad stories, but I like watching it. It's really nice.
Prior to the nightly web poll, the Live at 5 telephone poll rang off the hook, and before our roll call of milestones each evening.
Our honor list of champion stay-togethers. Here's a picture of our champion stay-togethers for this date.
It's maritime. It's who we are.
We're Maritimers. That's why it works here.
This is their 60th anniversary.
And we like to celebrate with them.
You know those anniversaries they announce? Those people don't even know each other. They just find old people on the street and go, can you stand together? So we'll give you $1. Okay?
Putting viewers at the center of Live at 5 has truly been a 40-year commitment.
Weather watcher. My daughter was on when she was 3 years old. Well, she's 28, so.
I drew a weather watcher too about 25 years ago. In fact, I drew 4, picked my favorite one, mailed it off to Roby, and it never went to air. So tonight, if you will indulge me in making a Live at 5 viewer's dream come true, Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
Better late than never, Nick.
Decades of injustice. Kalen should have done the right thing. Kalen says he wants another one, Nick. We'll get it on for you. We have some connections.
I think now is the time to thank viewers for sticking with this program. 40 years, really, it wouldn't be possible without you tuning in night after night. And I know, Jay, we were the ones tuning in.
We are Maritimers.
Yes.
We were tuning in the early days of the show. It did, watching Steve and Dave and Paul and Nancy and all the others did sort of, I know it did for me. I don't want to speak for you, but inform the way I see myself as a journalist and certainly how I want to host and represent the show.
It's an absolute privilege to host this show and to be part of it and to come into your home every night. Yep. And we thank you for that, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's tribute.
Thank you very much. It's time now to check in with Todd Battis.
We are very lucky to be here indeed. Thank you, you too.